Seeking the peace of reason, shaping a peaceless season. Reason to keep believing, waking the beast to sleeping. Top like a spring, step back, two-step, 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 one, two, three.
What good folks, it's Darktry19 aka Papa Bustatine, and welcome back to What If Naruto Was a Blind Warrior. So like, comment, subscribe and share, but besides all that, enjoy the video. Chapter 5, Naruto's Fate. Naruto walked towards his apartment when he felt a presence behind him. What is it? Kakashi? Naruto replied. Kakashi froze at the name. Naruto didn't call him sensei. The only time Naruto just called him by his name meant he wanted to be alone. Naruto, I know I haven't been much of a sensei for you, so I'm going to train you after the Chunin exams are over. Sorry Naruto, but I promised Sasuke I would help him train for the finals. But don't worry, I found someone who will overlook your training. Kakashi replied, hoping to get an expression from the blonde. No, thanks, I'm going to go train on my own. I don't need any help, Kakashi-sensei. Thank you though. Naruto just walk away. He didn't look back and disappeared into the crowd. Ebisu walked forward and stood next to Kakashi. Why didn't you stop him? Because he has to learn. He is still young. I believe he can do the things he can do. Anyways, try to get him to train. It would be good for him. However, could you try to pressure him to let you train him? Kakashi walk away. Naruto, you are a better sensei than I am. I'm a failure in so many ways despite being called a genius. I've always failed time and time again. You knew what's it like to teach others because of your fate. Naruto, please forgive me. Kakashi thought as he pulled out his book. Naruto walked over to where a waterfall was flowing beautifully. Naruto, however, took no interest in that. He immediately began to train. He reached in his pocket and pulled out a scroll. A sword popped out of the smoke. This sword was flat and about half the size of Naruto. Naruto is still small. So this sword is common to be nearly half his size. He is still the same height he was in the manga and anime before Shippuden. Naruto releases chakra and jumped in the air and swung his sword. Ebisu, who was watching, jaw drop in shock. Naruto knew chakra manipulation. This was something even high-level Jonins had trouble with. Before he could move, Naruto swung his sword and a wave was shot out. Naruto cried Kaze Kirite, the whole area erupted with explosions. Ebisu flew back unconscious. Shocked to see such power. I don't like people watching me. Naruto replied calmly. Naruto paused and noticed he also destroyed the woman's hot springs bathhouse. It was only then, the woman noticed someone was standing there peeking through the little hole. They screamed and covered themselves up and ran for their lives. What are you doing? Naruto asked, walking up to the old man. He rested his sword on his shoulders. The old man looked shocked to see all the beautiful babes run away. He was about to give the young boy a piece of his mind when he noticed two things. 1. was the boy was blind. 2. was the sword on his shoulder. Impossible, that sword is Kikin. Where did this Gaki get it from? Surely not from his mother. Nor his father, so where? Old man, you okay? Old man, old man. I have a name, you know. The pervert shouted. Really, you just seem like a plain old pervert to me. Naruto replied calmly. He gripped his sword tightly. It was most likely this man recognized his sword, which he thought was impossible. However, what worried Naruto was the amount of chakra he had. It was nearly as massive as the Sandaime Hokage. I'm not a pervert, I'm a super pervert, he cried, getting into a little stance. Naruto walked away, clearly not interested. I hate perverts. Naruto replied calmly. What you doing? The old man asked. Training. Naruto replied calmly. What's your name? None of your business. Naruto replied. The old man was walking beside him and wouldn't leave him alone. Finally Naruto stopped and pointed his sword at his throat. Leave me alone. Look Gaki, you're interesting. How about I teach you a few things? No, thanks. I'm merely preparing myself to fight against the Hyuga in the Chunin exams final. Naruto replied calmly. Oh, you're in the finals of the Chunin exams. Also, your opponent is a Hyuga. Not good for you, is it? To be honest, I don't know if the Hyuga is my opponent. I'm just training to prepare for him. So who is your opponent? I don't know. Who are you and why won't you leave me alone? Look, Gaki, before asking someone else's name you should tell them yours first. Naruto looked like he was going to explode it. After taking a few breathes, breathe out Uzumaki Naruto. I was right, Kushina's and Minato's kid. It seems Sarutobi-sensei was correct. He can no longer see, however, he seems to relay on chakra around him to move and fight. I'm Jiraiya, also known as the legendary Toad Sannin. Naruto finish. Now Naruto's interest was peaking. He didn't expect to meet 2 Sannin in less than 5 days. Would he meet the 3rd? Oh, so you heard of me. I must be popular. Actually, I heard of you from Orochimaru. Jiraiya's face fell. You know Orochimaru? Not really, met him in the forest. He bit the back of the neck on my teammate. Gave him some sort of seal. He talk about you in a bit. Said I reminded him of you. In a negative light. Naruto replied. Remember, the events of the Forest of Death hasn't been written down. I will reveal it in about 4 or 5 chapters from now. So Orochimaru is here. Take it you two are not on good terms. Nope, not really. Anyways, how about I help you with your training? Sure. Naruto replied, this time he was more polite. After all, how many times do you get offered to be trained by a Sannin themselves? Okay, do you know what a summoning contract is? Yes. I have 2. Naruto replied and removed his arm guards to show Jiraiya 2 summoning tattoos. Jiraiya raised his eyebrows when he saw the wolf contract. However, he truly panicked when he noticed the other contract. The Phoenix. Not only does he have 1 but he has 2? I'm amazed the wolf boss actually allowed someone to summon him again. What worries me is the Phoenix. Not once has anyone ever managed to please the Phoenix. If he managed to do that, then, how powerful is this Gaki? Well, that's rare, however, how would you like 3? The Toad contract. Correct. Jiraiya formed seals and summoned a frog. The frog was bigger than Jiraiya. Naruto felt a little tense when the frog opened its mouth and spat out a summoning contract. Sign it with your blood. The seals are. Naruto fell to deaf ears. He looked at the name besides his empty slot. Namikaze Minato. So the 4th was trained by Jiraiya the Toad Sannin. I get the feeling he will become a better sensei than the Kakashi. After all, Kakashi has helped me with my new jutsu without realizing so. Naruto signed the contract and bit his thumb as he formed the seals he saw Jiraiya do earlier. He placed his hand on the ground. Before Jiraiya could react, he now saw the toe of the Toad boss Gamabunta. Jiraiya, where the hell are you, you pervert? Gamabunta roared. Down there. Naruto replied, who was standing on the boss's head. Who are you? Uzumaki Naruto. Did he say, Uzumaki? I thought they were wipe out. This kid, is he, Minato's child? Don't lie to me, kid. You need 100 years before you can summon me. Naruto said nothing. True, he had to go through the same ordeal with his wolf and phoenix contract. So Naruto jumped off Gamabunta's head and bit both thumbs and rubbed them on his seals. He then clapped his hands and formed some seals. Naiu Kushios no Jutsu, Naruto cried. For a moment Gamabunta and Jiraiya leap off towards his death. However, when he formed his seals and shouted those words they froze in shock. Did he say, a double summoning jutsu? Is that even possible? Jiraiya thought. He was too shocked to move when a wolf's paw nearly stepped on him. Naruto, why did you summon us? The wolf spoke. Shikan-san, Kuki-san, merely to meet my new summoner. Naruto spoke in a calm and respectful voice. Most likely to prove you were worthy of the Toad summoning contract. Shikan responded. Yes, that too. Gamabunta-kun, take this boy. He is truly gifted and a genius. The 2 of us know. We work with him for a while through our children and they have said nothing but good things about this boy. Kuki responded in her beautiful soft voice. Don't get me wrong, I was going to allow him to be my subordinate. After all, I was deeply impressed he could summon me the first time. Not even the 4th could do that. Jiraiya was speechless. Never did he suspect Naruto to be able to summon 3 bosses in 3 minutes and jump down not even looking wind. The bosses all disappeared, leaving Jiraiya and Naruto alone. Minato, did you create a prodigy? Jiraiya knew he was in for one crazy month. 1 month later, the feudal lords were being carried by their guards and being protected by their shinobi. Alone sitting on a pole sat a shinobi with long blonde hair. Dress a lot like Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho and similar to Sasuke in the Chunin exams. So a blend in the two, Naruto stood up watching the feudal lords with little interest. When the fireworks started, he disappeared from his position. Naruto appeared in the stadium before any of the other participants. Standing before him was a jounin with a metal toothpick. Naruto didn't have to wait long, everyone showed up besides Sasuke and another person who turned out to be a sound Junon. I'm Genma, Yoru protector for the finals. Like the preliminaries exams, there are no rules. Now, everyone, take a look at this. Genma replied, pulling out a sheet. Naruto looked at it and noticed he was first against Hyuga Neji. Perfect. The lineup was a bit different due to the fact the sound Junon was found dead. So take a good look at your opponent. Okay, Uzumaki Naruto and Hyuga Neji is to remain here while everyone else goes up to the waiting room. This guy isn't the type to quit even if I tell him it's useless. However, I'm not going to waste my time with him. I'll end this in one blow. It's useless. A blind boy against Neji is an embarrassment itself. He stands no chance against Neji's offense and defense. Tenten thought with pity for Naruto. Watch closely, Hanabi. Neji is gifted in the Hyuga clan is very rare. His talent is even greater than your sister. Greater than Ne-chan? The young girl asked her father. Perhaps even greater than you. The little girl eyes open wide. It wasn't every day you heard your father say those words. I bet the Hyuga is going to win. They say he is a prodigy in the Hyuga clan. The grass Daimyo replied. I too bet on the Hyuga. The waterfall Daimyo replied. Everyone was talking about betting on the Hyuga. The water Daimyo looked at the boy's name. Next to him was a ninja who looked like she was 12. He looked at his stats and saw they were incredible low. If this boy was this low, he shouldn't have passed the first exam. If he was who he thought he was, then he was hiding his true strength. He knew Uzumaki escaped the Bloody Crusade 20 years ago, marking only survivor. If he was that Uzumaki's child, then he should have this match in the bag. After Konoha wouldn't have thought of a last name for an off-arm like Uzumaki unless 50 million Ryu, on the Uzumaki boy. The water Daimyo replied. Daimyo-sama, that's all of our country's money. The little girl cried in shock. Every Daimyo and ninja leader look at him. Very well, water Daimyo Dono, I'll take you on that bet. I enjoy laughing in your face when you lose. Soon every Daimyo and ninja leader took on the water Daimyo's challenge. After all, a blind boy who resides on luck can't beat a prodigy of the Hyuga clan, right? Keiko, watch closely. This boy's abilities might even be greater than you. What do you mean? I'm perhaps the strongest in the mist. True, however, this boy is different. If my hunch is right, the Hyuga boy has no chance of winning. Just remembering that report brought me chills. 50 years ago, flashback, the mist and leaf have been at war for 3 years. The water Daimyo and the fire Daimyo brought their countries to war because of some port control problems. Now, they had their ninja fighting to the death. The Mizukage was talking to the new water Daimyo, with the water Daimyo was his son. The Nindai Mizukage look up after hearing a knock. Come in. 2 ninjas wearing whirlpool ninja bands, walk in. Thank you for coming, Uzumaki-samas. Both the water Daimyo and Mizukage bowed before the 2 ninjas. The 2 Uzumakis bowed back. You said you needed us for a possible A or S class mission. Yes, there have been reports of the Hyuga clan and the Uchiha clan are moving as one force on the eastern borders of their country. Mostly likely they are going to invade Kiri. The Nindai Mizukage replied. Never before has Kiri been invaded. I would like to keep it that way. Many of our own clans cannot stop the Hyuga and Uchiha if they are indeed moving as one force. The water Daimyo replied. Invading as one force, The female Uzumaki replied and put her hand on her chin like she was thinking. I doubt they are invading to destroy us. The male replied. What do you mean? The water Daimyo asked. If what you say is true, then this isn't an invasion force, this is a recon unit. One of their biggest. The female replied, removing her hand from her chin. I fail to see how that is possible. Please explain, Uzumaki-samas. If this was an invasion force, then they wouldn't just send Hyuga, but also other ninjas. Most likely this new Sannin group of theirs would be leading the attack. Also with other ninjas and the one known as the Professor. The woman replied. Also, what also suggests this is a recon unit instead of an invasion force is the type of shinobis they are using. The Hyuga clan and Uchiha clan. My bet is simple, they are going to be working in pairs and split up once they get here. The Hyuga are going to serve as scouters and lookouts, while the Uchihas will be spying on our style and find any weakness as well as observe the landscape. The male stated in a calm voice. In other words, they are preparing for an invasion. The woman said. I didn't think of that. The Nindai Mizukage replied, sweating at the thought of the Leaf's success of this mission. What they say makes sense. I can see now. Hyugas and Uchihas as a recon unit. This way they can most likely complete all the information they need less than 1 month. The water Daimyo panic at the thought. So our mission is to prevent them from entering Kiri? Correct. Then we should start it. The two of them disappeared. 10 days later, Mizukage-sama. The Achonin shouted. The Mizukage was talking to his ninja heads and didn't like to be interrupted. Do you have something to say about interrupting this meeting? The Hyuga clan and Uchiha clan has suffered heavy losses. They have retreated back to Konoha. The two Uzumaki-samas did it. They forced them back. Do they need treatment? No sir. They came back unharmed. They are a bit tired though. The water Daimyo looked shocked. He suspected they would have been heavily injured. When the Whirlpool Daimyo offered him his help in the war, he strongly suggests to use the Uzumakis as the front lines general or on tough missions. The water Daimyo laughed at his face, saying his 7 swordsmen were good enough. The water Daimyo heard they were good, but he believed his swordsmen were better. Then the Whirlpool Daimyo offered him a deal. If he won, Kiri would split everything with them 50/50. If they lost, Kiri would gain full rights in Whirlpool. They passed. End flashback. Keiko, your abilities with water are second to none. However, this boy is to be feared. Do not underestimate him. He comes from a line of family that served as guardians for Mist and all of the water countries. Keiko looked at the water Daimyo. She didn't like that sound of what she heard. If the water Daimyo was right, then Kiri would become much more wealthier. However, if they lost, they would be in debt that they might not come out of. First match between Hyuga Neji and Uzumaki Naruto begin, Genma shouted. No sooner had he said those words, Neji rushed forward and struck Naruto in the heart. Game over. Neji replied with confidence. Hey, Neji. Is that all you got? Naruto asked. Neji jumped back in shock. Naruto didn't seem affected by the struck. You seem shocked. Let me explain, when two chakras bump heads, it's only natural the weaker one will crumple before the strong one. Looks like I was wrong about you. If Juken is all you know, then you should give up. You can't beat me with Juken. What did he say? Neji however didn't move and started to get frustrated. Neji rushed forward again. This time, Naruto reached for his sword that was on his lower back. The sword is a flat katana, similar to Sasuke's, and Naruto's wears it like Suai Fong from Bleach, Kaze Kirite. Naruto replied. He swung his sword and Neji felt himself getting pushed back into the stadium near the wall. The Anbu standing there looked shocked. Among the people who were shocked were the Daimyos for such power in a short time. Many glared at the water Daimyo as if questioning what did he know about this boy. Even the fire Daimyo looked at the water Daimyo. This event was unexpected. Among the shocked people were Tamari, Baki and half of Suna ninjas. They just heard of a wind technique never heard of. Not only that, it clearly was powerful. The technique destroyed and split the stadium in half. Thankfully, no one was hurt. The blast destroyed one of the stairs and the roof. What was that? Kaze Kirite, a wind jutsu used for short to long range. It's an A-rank attack. However, I lowered the power so I wouldn't kill you or anyone else. I'm surprised though to see you're still able to stand. However, the fight is over. You can't continue. How in the hell did you block my attack? Are you seeking vengeance for what happened to Hinata-sama? Hinata? You think I did this because of that girl? I didn't care if you had killed her. I just wanted her to fight. While, I'll admit she did do a great job helping me without knowing she was doing so. She and you have served your purpose. As well as the Hyuga clan. I thank you. Every Hyuga in the stadium looked shocked at Naruto's words. Even several shinobi looked shocked. What in the hell do you mean? Neji demanded. Naruto walked calmly towards Neji. Very well, I shall tell you. I'm sick and tired of hiding who I am. So I'll tell you. Everyone was now listening very closely. When I was 4, I lost my sight from an explosion with toxin waste. Every medic shinobi stated, I would never see again. My eyes were beyond repair. That was the last time I ever been to Konoha's hospital. Then, something happened that seemed to have blessed me in my favor, Kumo's attempt kidnapping on Hyuga Hinata. However, I know this was a failed mission for Kumo, and that your father died in Hyuga Hyashi's place. However, I asked the Sandaime Hokage what was so great about Hyuga clan and why would they try twice just to get a Hyuga. He told me what he knew, in very little information as possible. But he told me enough about the Byakugan. The all-seeing eye of Konoha elites. At that moment, I knew, the Byakugan were my new eyes. My ability to see the light again was here in the village all along. However, I also knew I would never get a hold of them unless I either asked the Sandaime Hokage and Hyuga clan, which would have been a direct no. Or was to kill a Hyuga and take the eyes for myself. But this too would be impossible since I already was hated by the village. The villagers would have cried out for my blood. Most likely it would have happened. So I trained myself instead, creating the light for myself. Then when I was 8, fate seemed to have felt pity on me and gave me something to help my training. When I was 8 years old, I joined the academy, and I was a classmate with Hyuga Hinata. I started to watch her closely, hoping to learn about the Byakugan. However, she never used her Byakugan in class. So I was wondering if I would ever learn the Byakugan secrets. Finally, in the preliminaries my luck struck. You and Hinata were scheduled to fight. What I didn't like was the fact you badmouthed Hinata. I was angry not because of your words, but because I might not have learned the secrets of the Byakugan. So I gave words of encouragement. I challenge your words with my own. Hinata took my words to heart. While I had to watch you attempt to cripple her, I was studying both of your eyes and your fighting style. Neji, all this time I've been blind, is not 100% true. It's true even now, I'm blind, but at the same time, I can see. For years ever since the attempted kidnapping on Hyuga Hinata I created a new eye for myself. It's not a dujutsu, but it's even greater than the Byakugan and Sharingan. I can see you Neji. Just like how the Byakugan sees, only better. You're lying. There is no way your eyes are better than mine, Neji shouted. Neji, for years I've sent chakra to my eyes, from everything I heard. I gave a hint to Iruka shortly before I became a Genin, but he seemed to have believed me. The reason why Hitake Kakashi was my Jounin instructor was not to train me, but to keep an eye on me. Ever since I was 6 years old, Anbu had been keeping me under surveillance. However, I was careful and made sure I didn't give any slips about my abilities to the Sandaime Hokage. I was to keep my secret secret until I felt ready to reveal them. Also, I see how well your Byakugan works. My eyes, however, can see your chakra signature. This is not your fate. Your fate is to be pathic and hopeless, Neji shouted. Angry that Naruto had managed to create such a powerful eye compared to the Byakugan. Many people were impressed he knew so much and did something that turned a disadvantage into his advantage. Naruto said nothing and showed no emotion. My fate. Neji, do you want to know why I'm revealing this now? Why after so many years of keeping all this secret and I'm just now revealing this? Neji said nothing. He too was curious. So was everyone else. I'm a Jinchuriki Neji. A sacrifice human. When I was 5 years old, the Konoha Council made a decree. A death sentence for me. When I turn 15 years old, they will perform the sealing ritual removing it from me and killing me. You see Neji, there is truly 2 ways to kill me. One, is to make my heart stop completely. The other, is to perform the unsealing ritual on me. The Sandaime Hokage, along with half the council were sweating bullets. How in the hell did he found out about that? What are you talking about? What the hell is a Jinchuriki? Naruto looked a little taken back. I see, well the Sandaime Hokage has done a very good job hiding this information from the younger generation. I thought several people might have found out, including you. However, it looks like he did a very good job hiding the truth. By the looks on the Suna ninjas though, they know what I am. If they think back nearly 13 years ago, they know what it is. Indeed, when the word Jinchuriki was said from Naruto's lips the Suna ninjas all jump away from him. Many brought out kunais but their bodies shook and their eyes spoke of one word. Fear. Like Sabuku no Gara, I too share the same fate. He too is like me. I know because I can see his chakra. His signature told me he is very like me but has little control. To answer your question Neji, Jinchuriki are called sacrifice humans for a reason. We are human prisons. Holding back a dread creature that mankind fears. For Gara, it would be the Ichibi, the one-tailed demon of the sand. For me however, I have sealed inside of me, the Kyubi no Yoko. Fear spread like crazy. For those who didn't know looked shocked and frightened. Luckily it didn't cause a riot. Everyone was listening to Naruto. Many showed fear when they look at him. Others however felt pity and sadness. Nearly everyone was brought back when Naruto wanted to join the festival and the mothers all pulled their children away and the mob started to beat the crap out of Naruto. Then you were a demon. You just said so yourself. You deserve to die. No wonder why you never had parents, Neji shouted. For the first time since she has known him, Naruto's face finally showed an expression. Anger. What in the hell do you know about me, huh? Naruto shouted. Everyone could hear the anger and the willpower from holding back. They suspected Naruto would have killed the Hyuga, but he was trying to hold it back. What do you know about me, huh? You have a family, people who care about you, Neji. You have 2 younger cousins who care for you. What do you know about me, when I've been alone from the start, huh? Naruto shouted. Everyone could hear him. There was so much emotions in his voice. Naruto grabbed Neji by the collar, who was too shocked by Naruto's outburst. Naruto pinned him to the wall. What do you know? What do you know what's it like to lose everything? I don't have a mother nor father. I don't even know if my mother held me in her arms. What do you know about me, huh? You never had everything just taken from you so harshly. How would you feel? How would you feel if your own father sealed the Kyuubi no Yoko inside of you, huh? At the last sentence were shouted out, everyone's minds drew to the 4th Hokage against the Kyuubi no Yoko. Now things were starting to make sense. The 4th did ask the villagers and shinobis not to treat him but Naruto as the hero who stopped the Kyuubi no Yoko. Many now realized they were wrong and never respected the Yondaime Hokage. You're lying. Neji finally shouted, breaking the silence around the stadium. I'm lying, am I? Then I'll tell you my true name. Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto. Naruto replied. Naruto let Neji go. You have a chance to change your fate, Neji. I do not. This is the fate for all Jinchurikis. I will die and the line of the Uzumakis and Namikazes will die with me when I turn 15. Naruto walk away. Towards the waiting room. Genma finally snapped out of his little shock and replied, winner Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto. Naruto was about to enter the waiting room when he stopped. He seemed tense. Then he drew out 2 kunais. Behind him. They struck the wall. You 2 can come on out. I can see you. 2 figures appeared. Both wearing black cloaks with red clouds, along with 2 bamboo hats. One was short and stood calmly. The other was taller and had a sword wrapped in bandages. He seemed a little twitching and wanted to grab his sword. A Sharingan user and a shark face. Who are you 2? Naruto asked, gripping his sword. Oh, guess this hats didn't serve that much against your eyes. The taller one spoke. It sounded full of excitement. Both removed their hats and looked at him. At the sight of Itachi, many shinobis took their stances in defense. Something that seemed to assume Itachi's partner. Itachi-san, you seem popular in this village. Itachi? You're Uchiha Itachi, Sasuke's Ni-san? Oh, so you know of him. Tell me, has he gotten strong? Nope, just a sore cry-baby in my opinion. I see, that's too bad, I was hoping he had become strong. What the hell are you talking about, dope? Sasuke-kun is the best, Sakura shouted. Many shinobis glared at her for the amount of disrespect she showed the Yondaime's son. Before anyone could say anything to her, a kunai pierced her right shoulder. Sakura, that kunai has Posian. Also, I'm sick and tired of hearing your loud voice all the time. Naruto-kun, or should I say, Naruto-sama, please come with us. Someone has a huge interest in meeting you. Itachi replied calmly. No, thank you. I'm fine here. Naruto replied, turning around and walking away from the pair. He sheathed his sword. Uzumaki-sama, we were told to get you peacefully, however, should you refuse to come with us we will force. The shark face spoke. He unwrapped his sword, revealing hides as blades. Kisame, you are taking this seriously. True, he has skills, but that's nothing. He is most likely at high Chunin level, Itachi stated calmly. You're the one taking him too lightly, Kisame stated. Naruto suddenly noticed Kisame's forehead protector. A former Kiri-nin? This is Hoshigaki Kisame. The monster of the mist. No matter, I have no interest in him. Uzumaki-sama, aren't you going to fight us? Kisame shouted towards Naruto. No. I have no interest or need to fight you too. Really? Yep, you are an Uzumaki alright. I remember during the Bloody Crusade I managed to kill 3 Uzumakis. This of course was when I was in the mist and a part of the 7 swordsmen of the mist, Kisame shouted. He hoped Naruto would turn around and attack, but nothing happened. Naruto just walking. Of course, this was impressive for a member of the 7 swordsmen. Such a feat has never happened before. Of course, there was only 4 Uzumakis left. Sadly, only one escaped from me. Just hearing her scream as my Samahata shaved her nearly to death brought joys to me ears. She should have been my 4th one. Not interested, Naruto shouted. Even if I told you her name was Uzumaki Kushina, Kisame shouted back. Naruto stopped dead in his tracks. His hands on the door, but he did not move. Then before anyone could see, Naruto's sword came crashing down on Samahata's. You tried to kill my mother? Naruto shouted. Itachi however stood a little shock. Just a moment, I thought I lost him. Kisame smirked however, inside he was worried. He recognized the sword. The Gaki is Kiken. How did he get a hold of that? Looks like I'm going to enjoy shaving you to death. Plus a reward for 90 million ryu for your head Uzumaki-sama, Kisame shouted. Naruto said nothing but let his chakra rise. Chapter 6, Naruto's power. Naruto jumped back and shouted Kaze Kirite. Kisame brought his Samahata up and destroyed the wind that was coming towards him. Nani, Naruto shouted. My Samahata not only shaves, but devours chakra, Kisame shouted. Kaze Kirite, Naruto cried attacking again. That's pointless. It's just a waste of chakra, Kisame shouted bringing his Samahata to deflect the attack. When he looked at Naruto again he was shocked to see Naruto's sword inches from his face. Kisame dodged the blade but looked shocked when he felt a cut on his face. As expected Uzumaki-sama. Naruto jumped to the rail and leaped into the air. Kisame followed him. Kaze Kirite, Naruto roared swinging his sword at Kisame. Kisame brought his sword and deflected falling to the earth. Naruto landed on the top of the wall and glared at Kisame. Kisame, you're taking too long. I'm going to end this, Itachi shouted. Really, you're the one taking me too lightly. Naruto replied disappearing in a puff of smoke. Kage Bunshine? Itachi stated his eyes open in shock. Like I said, you're taking me too lightly. Naruto replied. Kaze Bakua Itachi couldn't stop it. Before he could stop it, a powerful wind hit him with full force launching him to the stadium wall. Kaze Kirite, Naruto shouted. Kisame saw the danger and immediately rushed to jump in front of it. However, another Naruto popped out of the ground with a sword in hand. Kisame blocked it. Itachi took a direct hit. He was unable to block the attack. Itachi. When the smoke cleared there stood Uchiha Itachi, however, his cloak was nearly gone and he was panting heavily as blood came out of his body. So you survived a direct hit from my Kaze Kirite. Even when I used it at full power. However, you shouldn't have survived, because Kaze Kirite has a second ability. Naruto replied calmly smirking. Itachi's eyes opened wide when he felt something sting him. He kneeled over and started coughing. Kaze Kirite can shut down all chakra in a certain area it touches. That's why it's called the wind cutter. Because it cuts through chakra and shuts it down. Naruto replied. Both Narutos disappeared in a puff of smoke. Both of them were Kage Bunshines. Then where is he? Kisame shouted. Behind you. Kaze Kirite, Naruto shouted. Kisame turned around unable to fully protect himself from the attack. Kisame jumped back trying to stop the bleeding from his leg. He was frustrated. The brat was even better than he originally thought. Never before has this happened to him. What's taking so long? The brat is even better than we expected. Kisame replied. You're telling me you can't get a low-ranking Genin? True. His skills are even greater than an Anbu captain. Capture him now. Permission to use lethal force. Kisame replied. Denied. If we use lethal force we will live ourselves vulnerable to the Anbu here. We must be fast and strong enough to outrun them once we have the boy. Itachi replied. You're not understanding the situation. Itachi, he's a Uzumaki. We have no choice but to use lethal force. I thought the two of us would be good enough. We must use lethal force, Kisame shouted. What does being Uzumaki have anything to do with? You seemed very excited to challenge Uzumaki Naruto. You asked you and Itachi be the ones to bring him to headquarters. Now you're saying he is dangerous because he is an Uzumaki? Uzumaki is just a name. Kisame, you saying he should be feared because of that? Who are you two talking to? Naruto spoke. Itachi and Kisame look a little taken back. What are you talking about? We are merely speaking with each other, Itachi stated calmly. It's taken nearly a minute to respond back. Also, you may have every else fool with that little code talking, however you can't fool me. Don't forget, I can see chakra. And someone else's chakra is here even though they are not here. I asked again, who are you talking to? Itachi and Kisame said nothing but remained silent. You have no equipment on you yet you are talking to someone. Who is it? Again silence met Naruto's demands. Could it be, the leader of your organization, Akatsuki? Immediately, Itachi and Kisame face showed shock and surprise. Permission to use lethal force granted. Capture him at all cost. Find the source. Pain orders. I don't know how you heard about us, however, no more Mr. Nice Guy. You are coming with us no matter what, Itachi stated. Jump back as Kisame's chakra rose. Samahata Junsutai Kisame shouted. Immediately, Samehada's hides grew and soon spikes stood on the sword. Kisame pointed his sword at Naruto and roared. Kazuo hundreds of spikes were fired at a rapid speed towards Naruto. Naruto spun his sword and shouted Kaze Kishu. All the spikes that were shot out of Samehada only to be destroyed just inches from Naruto. Naruto looked behind him to see Itachi coming at him with a kunai in his hands. Naruto ducked and jumped to the side. Suten, Suikodan no Jutsu, Kisame shouted. Kaze Kirite, Naruto roared, destroying the water missile with his attack. Naruto jumped back and formed some seals. Sanju Kushios no Jutsu, Naruto roared. What did he say? Kisame said with his eyes open in shock. 3 large summoning appeared from the smoke. A wolf, a toad and a phoenix stood there while Naruto stood on the toad's head. Kisame threw his sword in the air and clapped his hands together. He took a deep breath and drew back. Suten, Bakasui Shuha, large water spat out of Kisame's mouth and Kisus caught his sword with ease. He stood on top of the water. When the water calmed down, Kisame formed seals once again. Kushios no Jutsu, as I thought, he summoned sharks. A massive great white shark appeared out of the water. Kisame, why have you summoned me? Simple, that brat summoned 3 bosses at once. Do not lie, Kisame. There is no such jutsu. I did not believe it either, however the brat did it. Also, this might interest you, he's the last Uzumaki. You lie. There are no more Uzumakis left. The Sandaime Mizukage had them hunted down. Are you just saying this to get me to fight? Remember, Kisame, you killed 3 Uzumakis. You're forgetting the 4th Uzumaki I encounter. She escaped the crusade and made refuge here in Konoha. She had a son. This boy is her son. Uzumaki Kushina. That's right, I did hear she did escape the crusade, after the beating you gave her. The rest of the Uzumakis quickly were killed as well. I heard they burned down everything they owned too before Kiri's army defeated. Such a shame, it nearly cost them their entire force just to kill 6 people. When Kisame's jutsu hit, the 3 summoning took leave. Shikan jumped onto the roof while Gamabunta jumped on the water and Kuki took to the air. Shark meat, never had any. Shikan replied in a tough voice. Oh, mutt, keep your mouth shut and learn your place. The shark roared. Gamabunta merely took a puff and let out a smoke from his pipe. The smoke went into the eyes of the shark and he gasped out the smoke. Hey, frog legs, are you asking to become a part of my stomach? Nope, merely enjoying my time as the dead shark meat is present to my children. Gamabunta spoke calmly. He gripped his dagger, which appeared more like a sword to many shinobis. Genma jumped to the rail and watched with interest. He looked at the Hokage and saw he did not give the signal to attack. Hokage-sama, how long will you let this go on? Itachi also noticed the Sandaime Hokage did not order his ninjas to attack and defend the Yondaime's son. He was wondering what was going on with the Sandaime Hokage. He did know a mystery surrounded the boy. Was the Sandaime Hokage hoping today would reveal the mystery? Let's do this? Kisame shouted. No need to tell me, I already know. The great white shark disappeared into the waters and quickly Naruto formed seals as Gamabunta seemed to get bigger. Then without warning, Naruto blew out fire from his mouth as Gamabunta released oil. Kaden, Gamayu Enden, Naruto roared. The whole area was soon erupted with hot fire. Anyone like roasted shark? Naruto called out. At that moment, the great white came out seeming as the boiled took started affecting on his skin. Damn brat, Suten, Suikodan no Jutsu, Kisame roared. Gamabunta formed a tiger seal and cried. Suten, Tipo Dama, the water gun bullet crushed Kisame's water shark missile and sent him flying. Naruto jumped in the air and looked like he was dancing as he spun around in mid-air. Kisame quickly landed. As he did, he looked up to see the brat was not standing on the toad. He looked in the air where Naruto was spinning around slowly. What scared him was Naruto's stance. That's Getsue Dansu, Shinku Batsu, Naruto cried, swinging his sword at Kisame. Kisame felt the whole area get hit by that attack. This is Kiri's. Impossible. Even though it is a C-rank kenjutsu, only members of the 7 swordsmen know this technique besides the Mizukage. So how in the hell did he know that? Kisame deflected the blast, and jumped to met Naruto head on in a kenjutsu and taijutsu. Kai, Naruto shouted as the restraints around his body, the same things that Sasuke wore during the Chunin exams. For Naruto, I'm calling them restraints, drop and Naruto's speed increase. Soon Naruto became a blur. To many shinbis they could barely keep up with Naruto and Hoshigaki Kisame. Itachi stood on the rail watching the battle with interest. Naruto was truly amazing. To think that boy was hiding so much potional and power from the Sandaime Hokage and the Anbu was a feat like no other. To-san, what's going on? I can't keep up. Hanabi asked. Her Byakugan activative. They've entered combat in taijutsu and kenjutsu. Amazing, by the looks of Naruto-sama's taijutsu form, it's very close to our own. He also has the advantage and is forcing Kisame back. Hiyashi replied, watching the battle. However, he could barely see what was going on. He didn't think it was possible for such a small boy to wield such power. Many jounins among the crowd and the Anbu were having a hard time enough keeping up with the two. Many of them would reply what was going on. Even Kurenai and Asuma couldn't keep up. Their eyes showed shock and surprise to see Naruto going one-on-one with a S-class criminal. One who was equally on par with the Yondaime Mizukage. Kisame jumped back panting. Where the fuck did you learn kenjutsu? Not from this village, I know that for a fact. You know, moon dance, crescent flower, hidden dance, and white sun. These are kenjutsu styles known only in my old village. Who taught you? Guess there is no point in hiding it. During my mission to Wave, I tracked down and confronted Momochi Zabuza, also known as the Demon of the Mist. I found him in Gato's hidden mansion. He then told me about my heritage and told me he owed a debt to my mother and started to train me as repayment. However, he could not finish my training. I learned much, but not enough. To complete my training, he gave me scrolls and this sword, Kiken. A sword he stole from the Mizukage vault. The greatest treasure amongst the Mizukages. I believe this was wielded by the Shadaime Mizukage. I soon started training every jutsu, every style he knew, along with a copy of the Kiri's Forbidden Scroll. So to answer your question, my first sensei, Momochi Zabuza. Naruto replied as he drew Kiken and charged head-on with Kisame. That Forbidden Scroll of our village has mostly advanced kenjutsu and water jutsu. Plus healing jutsus that can rival Tsunade's or go even greater than hers. This brat has a copy? I must. Kisame was too close to Naruto as Naruto shouted Kaze Kadu. Kisame felt himself getting ripped apart as a strange vortex appeared in front of Naruto and was moving at high speed. What is this jutsu? I feel, this jutsu, he's going to, impossible, no Uzumaki was this gifted at such a young age. Kisame swung his Samahata in desperation and the sword hit Naruto in the head. What shock everyone was Naruto disappearing in a puff of smoke. Everyone was confused because they didn't see Naruto make a cage bun shine. Kaze Kirite. A voice rang out. From underneath Kisame then saw the attack coming. He jumped out of the vortex just in time only for another jutsu to hit him in the back. Suten, Suryudan no Jutsu. Kisame was blasted into the wall and the water soon started to die down. To everyone's shock, Kisame's shark summoning was tied down to the floor with chains. Naruto sitting on his head. This brat merely used his summonings as a distraction. I never thought that was possible for a brat to be so gifted so young. No Uzumaki has ever accomplished such a feat. Not even your mother, the prodigy of the Uzumaki clan, was at your level at your age. When we meet again, I'm going to bite your head off. The shark replied, disappearing in a puff of smoke. Naruto's summonings, however, remain, watching the fig with interest. Kisame got up and stood near Itachi. Kisame grinned angrily as Naruto walked towards him. This brat, he figured me out so quickly. Not even his mother could do that. I have no choice, I must use that jutsu. Kisame set down his Samahata and formed seals at a rapid pace. Unfortunately, Itachi noticed the seals Kisame was forming. Stop, Kisame. Our orders are to take him alive. That jutsu will. Itachi never finished as Kisame formed a ram seal and cried. Suten, Suiatsu Bakuhatsu. Water started to from behind Kisame and move at a fast pace. What is this jutsu? I can see you've never seen or heard of this jutsu before, Uzumaki-sama. That's because this jutsu is my own creation. My own design. The jutsu that put your mother on a very thin line of life and death, and the jutsu that killed the 3 Uzumakis. Moving faster than 400 miles per hour in a second, it will destroy anything in its path. Say goodbye, Kisame shouted. The jutsu fired with massive wind pulling everything in its path. The wall quickly got destroyed, however the jutsu continued, taking the trees and the earth as well. Finally no one could see it anymore, but they could hear it continuing. Before anyone could say anything, Kisame let out a scream and clutched his right shoulder, which was dripping with blood. I cannot believe you made me use that jutsu. I was saving that for later. Naruto replied, looking at Kisame, who fell to his knees. Itachi's eyes were open wide in shock. Shacking, he couldn't believe what he saw. Just as Kisame's jutsu hit him, I thought he disappeared. He made no seals or hand seals. What happened? Hiyashi was just as confused as Itachi. He noticed Naruto was in 2 places at once the moment Kisame's jutsu nearly touched him. What technique did he use? Was it a jutsu at all? The Sandaime Hokage along with several other shinobis were just as curious. How did you evade that jutsu? It's the third fastest jutsu out there. You might as well put it as the fourth fastest. This jutsu I used is even greater than my father's Hirashin no jutsu. Nani? Kisame shouted, his eyes open wide in fear. Many shinobis also looked shocked. Shortly after I learned about my father, I learned of his Hirashin no jutsu. I also heard of the stories about how he used a jutsu that allowed him to kill 100 ninjas in a second. I also wanted to learn this technique. However, I knew I would never get it in time. So I turned to another method. I watch Anbu and many jounins use shunshine. I studied the technique behind this jutsu and soon discovered how to preform it. The person who was the most helpful was Hatake Kakashi, who would always use shunshine to appear and leave Team 7. I just completed this month. I call it Shunpo. That's why I like to be called Kanpaku. Naruto replied calmly. Why, you little? Kisame growled as he swung his sword at Naruto. That's useless. Naruto replied behind Kisame. Kisame was holding his wrist, which had been servally cut by Naruto. Kisame kneeled down holding his wrist that was bleeding very badly. As if time itself has stopped, I can move anywhere, lightly without sound, and attack anyone I want to. Naruto replied as he reappeared next to Kisame as Kisame's stomach was cut wide open. Everyone was shocked to see such a technique. Many who have seen the fourth's technique knew this was even greater. That means many of my techniques won't work on him. All this time, he was merely toying with Kisame. How powerful is this boy? What does Kisame know that I do not? Naruto pierces Kiken into Kisame's shoulder after he brought up his hands to block the blow to his chest. That wasn't so smart, Hoshigaki Kisame. Let me explain, the killing blow could have given you less pain. Now, you are going to feel your body get destroyed from the inside. Kiken has a very unique ability for people who have wind element chakra. Currently, as long as my hand remains, the blade is releasing small blades of its own. These blades are not visible, even to the Byakugan and Sharingan. There are millions of blades, each 10 times smaller than red blood cells. However, that's not what makes them deadly. True, it doesn't attack the flesh. They attack the cells, destroying them completely. That's why I don't use S-class wind jutsus. Because the sword will become a double edge for me. Also, the level of this attack is cellular. Naruto replied calmly. Kisame's eyes opened wide when he heard that. True to Naruto's words, he started to feel it. His shoulder went completely numb, now he was starting to feel it in his arm. Don't bother, Itachi. You can take those kunais and shurikens away. I can see your every movement. Naruto spoke out without looking at Itachi. Itachi remained to have an expressionless face, however, dropped the weapons nonetheless. Itachi, do you know why Hoshigaki Kisame was boasting about killing 3 Uzumakis and why he was so afraid that if he didn't use his full strength he would lose? Naruto spoke calmly. Everyone was looking at him. Uzumaki was a clan of some sort? If so, did they come from the mist? This thoughts rang through everyone's head. Itachi said nothing, but Naruto took his silence for a yes. We Uzumakis are born with an IQ over 200, marking us as genius. In fact, the person who created the 7 swordsmen of the mist was an Uzumaki swordsman. However, in the mist and any country around mist, they all know about the Uzumakis and fear their legacy. Unlike the 7 swordsmen, they never sought out to increase their legacy and just keep it minimum as possible. In fact, the name Uzumaki is more respected and feared in mist than the 7 swordsmen. They get more respect than the Mizukage and Kiri's Daimyo. The Uzumakis lived in the country of Whirlpool. They were also known as the Guardians of the Sea. Then a little over 20 years ago, the Sandaime Mizukage wished to have the Uzumaki blood for his future children. He wanted to marry an Uzumaki and claim the Uzumaki clan for his own. The Uzumaki clan, however, was very strict with marriage with people on the outside of the clan. They refused the Sandaime Mizukage. This of course made the Mizukage angry that someone would dare say no to him. He then declared they were traitors in helping the enemies. He ordered his entire army to hunt them down and destroy them. In his mind, if he cannot have the blood of the Uzumaki, then they shouldn't be allowed to exist. The Uzumaki clan, however, was very small. A few months beforehand, the eldest Uzumaki passed on, leaving only 7 members left. It was a number game. The 7 swordsmen of the mist were leading over 50,000 men against only 7 people. To many people here, it seemed this would end quickly. However, it took nearly 3 years for Kiri's army to come up on top. They killed 6 Uzumakis while the youngest was urged to escape to the Bloody Crusade. The person who escaped was my mother, the youngest one. Uzumaki Kushina. However, Kiri's victory cost the Sandaime Mizukage dearly. Only a couple hundred shinobis remain. It took nearly 3,000 men just to kill the first Uzumaki. If you haven't guessed why we are feared Itachi, then I shall tell. It not because of our brains or our abilities to adapt in situations. It our chakra powers. Naruto replied calmly. Everyone who took this information looked completely shocked. Many have heard of the Bloody Crusade but didn't know what it meant. The water Daimyo had a tear come from his eye. The Sandaime Hokage is proclaimed the strongest and wisest of the Hokages. Called the professor because of that. However, for me, because of my mother's blood that runs in me, I have the ability to become even twice as smarter and perhaps 3 times stronger than he was in his blood. Itachi's eyes opened wide in shock. As did many other people. We Uzumakis are feared, because our chakra levels went beyond Kage's level. In fact, we can even take on Baijuu and come on top. Some called our chakra godlike just because there doesn't seem to be a limit. I will continue to grow and continue to become powerful, never reaching any prime. My prime, if I live at full age, will be when I die. Nearly everyone back away, unable to believe what they heard. That's one reason why marriage was so strict for Uzumakis. Also, it's why they didn't spread their name. Because the best time to kill an Uzumaki is when they are young with barely any chakra. If people knew their name, people would target their children. Many disappeared for a few years until their children are strong enough to look after themselves. Not everyone can marry a Uzumaki. The child born with Uzumaki blood must be able to handle the intense chakra. If they can't handle it, then they will die at birth. The Sandaime Mizukage's blood cannot blend with the Uzumaki's because his children would have died at birth if he did marry a Uzumaki. Now you know I'm the last of the Uzumakis. And why the line will die with me. Itachi couldn't help but be simple amazed by this. He knew Kisame got into the 7 swordsmen because he managed to kill 3 Uzumakis. At age 16 he did something no one in the mist could do. However, Kisame never told him what it was. It must have been something huge to be promoted to Jounin from Jinan, then immediately join the 7 swordsmen. Now he couldn't believe what he heard. If Kisame killed 3 people at Kage level or higher, then how would this be if Naruto surprised his family members? Hoshigaki Kisame, truth be told, I had no interest in fighting you. Now after learning you put my mother near death, I will kill you to regain her honor. Naruto then called forth the wind and a sword appeared in his hands. Kisame, today, you will die, Naruto cried. Naruto was about to swing when he stopped. That was impressive, Itachi. However, genjutsu is useless on me. Such a waste of chakra. What do you mean? You mean you haven't realized? Very well, I shall tell you. For all genjutsu to work, you must control the opponent's chakra. However, for genjutsu to take effect, the opponent must see it. Since I am blind and see in a chakra sense, genjutsu has no effect on me. That doesn't explain how genjutsu doesn't work on you. It's simple, Itachi. 95% of all genjutsu takes effect when the eye seizes it. If you cast a genjutsu in an area when ninjas are approaching, it won't take effect until they see it. If they don't see it, then they are not affected by it. In other words, the eye must see it for the genjutsu to take effect. However, since I'm blind and can't see but use chakra to see, genjutsu is useless. I never knew that. Kurenai replied. Many nodded in agreement. That means Tsukiyomi is useless. I'll just be wasting chakra on him. That means, I have no choice. Even though I have yet to enter combat, I know he has a huge advantage over me. I have no choice. Not only that, if the Leaf capture me, I know Ibiki will be able to extract information from me and they will learn everything they need to about Akatsuki. Tsukiyomi, Amaterasu, Itachi cried. Naruto felt chakra around. Before he could do anything, he got hit, was flying towards the wall in black flames covering his body. Everyone realized at once Itachi just killed Naruto. It took a few moments for everyone to finally understand, Naruto was died. Itachi was panting. He was forced to use a jutsu that nearly cost him his entire chakra. You're an interesting child. A woman's soft voice replied around Naruto. For the first time, in 8 years, Naruto could see. Where am I? A borderline between life and death. The voice answered. Naruto chuckled. So I died, never thought I would die so fast. What was the technique Itachi used on me? He used his Mangekyo Sharingan Greastus Ninjutsu attack, Amaterasu. It's instant and very few are able to dodge it. That fact is, if you could see like you could now, you would know it would have come. Because you could not, you were a split second late encountering and escaping the jutsu. Who are you? There was no response. Instead, a young beautiful woman appeared with long raven hair wearing a white robe. I am the goddess of the sun and light, Amaterasu. Naruto's eyes opened wide, which amused the goddess. I do not appear before humans much, Uzumaki Naruto. Normally Shinigami does. However, because you were hit by a small taste of my power, I am able to talk to you before Shinigami comes for you. Because of this, I'm offering you a chance. A chance to return to the world. Amaterasu-sama, what's the catch? There is no catch. You will be needed back in the world of living. I am not like Shinigami-san. Do you want to return and complete your master plan? So you know about my plan. I guess I shouldn't be surprised seeing how you're a goddess. Much as I would love to move on, I accept. Amaterasu smiled and Naruto felt himself getting pulled. In a vortex Naruto felt himself spinning and moving faster. Very few humans catch the eyes of the gods Uzumaki Naruto. Because of this reason, my power shall become your power. When you return, the power of the flames and sun shall be absorbed by you by the black flames around you. You will need this power to help you. Good luck, child of destiny. Amaterasu voice replied before fading. Naruto then felt his body was burning and soon was getting absorbed in his body. Kisame pulled the sword out of his shoulder and looked at Naruto. I cannot believe the idiot got hit by that jutsu. I half expect him to disappear and attack you, Itachi-san. To take a direct hit from you, Amaterasu, is sad. So the last Uzumaki is dead. Kisame, we have to pull out, before the leaf Anbu get on our tail. Itachi and Kisame were about to leave when they both froze. Chakra was leaking out and it was massive. They both turn around to see Naruto getting up. The black flames dance around him like he was controlling it. They then wrap around his body and Naruto breathed it in. That's impossible. How in the hell did the brat just consume your attack, Itachi? Kisame shouted. Naruto then lifted his forehead protector and opened his eyes. Pale whiteness glared at the two criminals. Kisame took his samahata and took a defensive position. Kisame, that's enough. The mission is a failed. Fighting anymore will lead to our deaths, and might I add, it will be a meaningless death. We are withdrawing before we get ninjas that will annoying to us. Let's go. Very well. This is far from over, Uzumaki-sama. I will claim your head and kill you. You, kill me? That's funny. Naruto replies calmly. Itachi and Kisame faded for a bit before disappearing. Naruto said nothing but walked towards the waiting room. The ninjas from the other villages back away from him, clearly scared now they knew he was more powerful than almost anyone there. Return to me, Kiken. Naruto replied as his sword shot straight towards his hands. Naruto stealthed his sword and took 5 steps when he stopped. Before anyone could do or say anything, Naruto opened his mouth as blood spat out. He leaned on the wall and started to walk towards the waiting room. What scared everyone was the amount of blood Naruto was losing and leaving on the wall. Before anyone could say or do anything, a hooded figure appeared punching Naruto in the gut. Naruto fell down with the figure looking down upon him. Thanks for listening and remembering that disrespect is real. Goodbye.